Come on, Elise, cheer up. I'm sorry, all right? I was only trying to tease you a little. Don't you have something you wanted to discuss with everyone? Please, go right ahead. Well, that aside, it's been a long time since I last saw both of you, Eustace and Laura. I'm glad to see you're both well.
Likewise, Your Highness.
You've become even more fetching since we last met.
Aw, thank you. I was rather hoping that you'd decide to enroll in Sanctus Dryad too. But it seems you chose to attend Thor's after all.
Well, I've committed myself to following the way of the sword, and Thor's gives me a place to hone my skills. I apologize for not being able to live up to your expectations.
First I lost Angelica to Thor's, then you too. Perhaps I should just transfer there next year myself. Your Highness. Got you to look. But
Well, she seems lively.
She seems far more easygoing.
I've heard plenty about her, but none of that prepared me for meeting her in person.
So, this is what it's like to be in the presence of royalty. It's actually rather overwhelming.
I can see why people always compare her to an angel.
Me too.
Please don't worry about me. Well, I still have much to learn before I feel like I deserve my status among the nobility. I've been blessed with wonderful friends, and I'm enjoying life here at the Academy.
Well, she does seem to have at least one wonderful friend. Kind of an understatement when that friend happens to be Princess Alphen.
I'm particularly happy to finally be able to meet you, Rean Schwarzer. Elise has told me so much about you. Your Highness?
I'm honored that you'd say so. Elise always mentions in her letters what a great friend she has. As her brother, I wanted to thank you for that.
Rean? Oh, it's so refreshing. You're every bit the person Elise says you are. Perhaps even more so.
Huh?
Actually, I have a teensy-weensy favor to ask. Do you think I could join Elise in thinking of you as my dear brother as well?
What?
Your Highness! You see, Elise has spoken of you so often that in my heart, you've already come to feel like family. And now that I've had the opportunity to meet you, I fear I simply can't suppress these feelings any longer. I have 2 brothers already, of course, so I'm sure it won't take long to adjust.
I couldn't possibly. I mean...
That's enough, Your Highness.
Yeah, she's adorable.
Aw, don't be so stingy. Surely it wouldn't hurt to share him with me a little. Anyway, that aside. The reason I called you here today was not to talk with me. There is someone else who would like to meet you.
Why? It's not like we're famous.
Who do you mean? Hey, isn't that...
A guitar? No, a lute?
Oh, it seems he's arrived. Oh,
I apologize for keeping you waiting.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
And you as well, young lady? Well, I trust everyone here has been making themselves comfortable?
Who's this guy?
I'm not sure, though I feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
I serve as a music instructor in the hallowed halls of this fine academic institution. In truth, I am ever on the hunt for that elusive mayfly we call love.
How
But that
can he
might
be a
raise eyebrows
ruler
at a girls' school.
and be teaching at the
But whose
same
pulse
time?
would
I
not
don't
quicken
understand.
wandering into this untainted cloister?
I swear to God, the
blue-eyed
royalty
maidens? Ah,
in this universe makes no
romance.
fucking sense. Are they ever doing anything? Is like all the royalty in this land basically the United States presidency and they just don't do anything?
Could he be?
Because that's how it fucking feels. How he's supposed to be ruling a country
I think that's quite
and
enough.
doing shit, which he was doing at the end of Trails 2 and 3. But here he's just lollygagging in a
Any
school
more of
teaching
that,
music.
and our guests may start edging toward.
Ah, I can
I'm not
always
saying he was
count
the
on
king,
you
but
to
he was
never miss
doing
a beat,
like
my dear
important shit. He was ruling and doing this and that and making choices,
Wait.
and now he's I'm just teaching music here. Do the royal people in this
Indeed.
fucking game ever do anything? Chloe is the only one who got off her ass and actually did anything.
'Tis I, Olivert Rice Arner, also known by some unscrupulous individuals as the Debaucherous Prince. I also serve as Thor's Military Academy's ornamental chairman of the board. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, ladies and gentlemen of Class 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, if they're royalty at his point in time, in his age, he should not be just here instructing with music. He should be like at the castle learning how to do his fucking job that he's gonna be doing once his dad retires. But, like, he's always off in this town drinking, or in this city drinking, or over here joining the bracers, like, or at school just teaching music. Like, when the fuck does he do his job? No, but I'm sure there's other things he could be doing. Every royal family has a part to play.
That you're the chairman of the board of directors, Your Highness.
Whether it's governing this town, governing that town,
that the chairman was a member
handling
of the
this,
Imperial
handling
family,
that,
but still,
kissing babies, shaking hands. I feel like he literally is never doing anything when we see Oliver. Nothing, except for in number 2, when for a brief moment it felt like he was a bad guy for a second.
I suppose it's not surprising they'd rather keep it hushed up, though. It would...
That's surprisingly forthright coming from you.
Is it really true, though? I mean, that you were the one responsible for establishing Class 7, Your Highness?
Indeed, I was. You see, it's always been a tradition that a member of the Imperial family serves as chairman of the board. At first, I wore the title in name only, but I had a change of heart after my vacation in the Burl 2 years ago.
You were in Liberl back then?
That would put your visit during the incident that occurred there, correct?
Right. All I've done since I returned to Erebonia has been inspired by my experience during the crisis in Liberl. As a result, fruitless though they may prove to be, I've set a number of plans in motion. One of which is to bring the winds of change to Thor's military academy. A gust of fresh air, if you will.
Winds of change, huh?
I can only assume you're referring to our class?
Then the one who decided to throw both commoners and nobles into the same class was...
Yes, the idea was mine. Although the selected students also had to have a high aptitude with the Arcus units too.
I think I'm finally starting to understand the reasoning behind Class 7. And why we're being sent all over Erebonia on these field studies.
to show us firsthand and give us cause to consider the conflict between the two factions. That is the purpose behind our field studies. Is it not, Your Highness?
That is one of the reasons, yes. However, my foremost intention was to show you that during your lives, you will encounter many obstacles and not just between factions, but between the capital and the provinces, tradition and technology, even between nations. In these turbulent times, I thought that this would provide the hands-on education today's promising youths need. We need up-and-comers who can think and act independently to face tomorrow's challenges head-on.
That makes sense.
Wow, that's quite a plan.
I can't help but feel a little unsure whether we can live up to such high expectations.
Hearing your explanation has, at the very least, cleared up many of the doubts I've had up to this point.
Class 7 does seem like an ideal environment to expand one's outlook on life.
I feel like going through everything we have so far has brought us closer to doing exactly that.
Yep.
Marvelous. I'm so pleased to hear it. Just listening to you makes me feel even more certain that establishing Class 7 was the right decision. Especially since while the idea itself was mine, even so, I still hope to meet all of you at least once, if only to tell you all this. That was when Alfin stepped in and offered to set up this little meeting.
I see. Well, I could hardly refuse such a sincere request from my brother. But it also presented me a fine chance to finally meet Elise's beloved brother, as I've always wanted to. Your Highness!
Thank you for taking the time to tell us all of this, Your Highness. I feel like now that I know, I want to live up to the promise you saw in Class 7. Thing is, am I right in assuming that Class 7 doesn't exist just to fulfill your progressive ideal?
What do you...
Oh?
The board has its chairman, of course, but 3 directors besides. My older brother Rufus, Imperial Governor Karl Regnitz, and Irina Reinford of the Reinford Group.
Oh, yeah.
Now that you mention it.
They do seem to have certain expectations for us.
Precisely. As I mentioned, I no longer have anything to do with how Class 7 is run. That authority lies with the directors. As you're keenly aware, Rufus and Governor Regnitz sit on opposite sides of the factional divide. And while Chairman Arena is mostly involved with Class 7's technology, like the Arcus, her intentions are a mystery to me. And it's those three who decide where you'll travel for your field studies.
Is that right?
When you put it that way, it does make it seem like some kind of bargaining is taking place behind the scenes.
It was one of the conditions they gave in exchange for allowing Class 7 to be established. I'll admit, I hesitated to allow it, but I decided to place my hopes in you. We believed then, as we still do, that one day you all... Well, I suppose when I put it that way, it sounds positively heroic. Your students, first and foremost. Reach out and grab that fragrant rose of school life. Join a club. Eat cheap food with your friends at midnight. Fall in love. We live but once. Make your youth count.
You know, it's weird, but hearing you say that kind of takes a load off my mind.
By the way, just earlier you said that we believed the Class 7 would be a great light. Is there someone else involved with Thor's who shares your vision for our class, Your Highness?
There is. Principal Van Dyke. I once attended Thor's myself and studied under him. He gave my proposal to establish Class 7 his full backing.
I see.
He's been particularly considerate toward us ever since we arrived at the Academy.
While he has no direct control over the running of the Academy, he does preside over the board meetings. And above all, he's the one who assembled an excellent team to give you first-rate training.
An excellent team, you say?
Are you referring to Instructor Sarah?
Well, she's certainly one of them. Still, coaxing her away from her former line of work certainly played a large part in giving Class 7 a great foundation. She is, after all, one of the strongest people in the Empire, and her experience makes her a natural field leader.
Wait, what?
Instructor Sarah? One of the strongest people in Erebonia?
Exactly what experience might you be referring to?
I've even heard rumors of her daring exploits myself. She was known as the Purple Lightning. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Wait. Purple.
I knew it.
If you two have heard of it, it must be a household name among.
That's right. Though I've just heard it in passing.
Ah, that young ace of the Erebonian Bracer Guild, and one of the Empire's most famous bracers. She has a history full of brave feats and dangerous deeds. She was even the youngest bracer to achieve A-rank status. Back then, she was known as the Purple Lightning. Now, you know her simply as your homeroom teacher.
I can hear them drop some money, dropping all the money, drop the money. Oh, this shit's so funny. When I'm talking about the things I like, dollar shining on my house tonight. Everyone running, my money drop. Excuse me.
You shall be their sword. That's basically what you guys are. You're their sword. Sarah. Ugh, that guy. RPGs have a thing for making the main characters younger than 20. Like, I don't understand. I've never understood why everybody has to be a teenager in these games. I think that's why I liked Tales of Arise, because most of the characters were full-grown ass adults.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I've been waiting for things to pick up here for a bit. I mean, I haven't been bored. I mean, or I wouldn't have made it this far this fast.
The time is finally at hand. At last, the hammer of judgment shall rouse this indolent capital from its slumber. Yeah!
Well, and we lost 54
Comrade G,
minutes because
all
I had
the
to
necessary
start my damn
preparations
stream
are
over
complete.
again, so that's a whole
But
hour
it feels
we
like you have
lost
so
as
few
well.
men accompanying you.
Wouldn't it be wise to call in a few others for backup?
There's nothing to... As long as I have this flute, not even the railway military police stand a chance of stopping us.
It's fine. It's
Tomorrow,
not your fault.
the people of
That's
this
what it is.
land,
Shit
my
happens.
dear comrades, I shall be counting on you all.
I mean, this game always gives me audio issues when I start my stream.
Yeah!
And then I always have to shut it down and then start it over. It's only Legends of Heroes that does this. I didn't even change my sound option. When I restarted my stream and started capturing everything, the sound just started working magically. But if I shut the game off and load it back up, it doesn't capture the sound. I have to shut the game and OBS down. I had to shut my whole computer down because my mouse stopped working and would only stay in the middle of the fucking screen. But as for the sound, that is a constant issue with this series, and it is only this series. No other game has captured audio issues. It is only every single Legend of Heroes game that we have played so far. That's it. It's just this series, and I don't know why. Oh yeah, summer festival. Excuse me. Okay, guys, I think this is a good spot to go ahead and wrap it up at. Hey, look at that. We hit 40 hours and only 40 more to go. Jesus fucking Christ. What else am I supposed to do? I keep doing all the side missions. If I don't do the side missions, it's 58 hours. Which means we would only have 18 hours left. But I keep doing all the side missions, which according to the fucking games online how long to beat, that adds up to 80 hours. Though I feel like that's a huge difference. Because I don't feel like the side missions take that long, so I don't understand how doing the side quests jump it from 58 to 80. I feel like that's a massively disgusting jump in hours from simply doing a few side missions here or there. Like, I don't understand that logic, but apparently story and side quests equals 80, but story is just 58. Well, doesn't that seem crazy? That's like a 20-hour difference. That, it has to be including something else. Maybe it's also including the hidden missions? Are any of those long? Well, hopefully I only have 18 hours left. Yeah! So like, 68 hours would make sense to me if base game is 58. So let's say we have 60 hours left. Let's just say we have 65 left to be safe. What do you mean I have way longer? What do you mean? Well, according to online, that should only take me 18 to 19 hours from where we are now. So let's just, well, first, time sense, let's just say I've got 20 hours left for now. We'll go with 20 hours. And, if that's the case, 4, 8, is it 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 2? No, 20, excuse me, 20. I'm sorry, 20. So that's what, if I max out, if I do 4-hour streams from here on out with this game, we could finish it in like a couple of weeks. So maybe I'll start trying to plan to play this more than twice a week, so we can get this done faster and move on to the next game. Because this is what always happens with the Legends of Heroes games. We get near the end and then all of a sudden I'm like, play. And if we're really only 20 hours from the finale, I feel like now is the time to really hit the ground and really like put in full streams. So I'm going to try to plan 5 full 4 to 4.5 hour streams from now on with this game. So it'll probably have to be morning times, because night times I don't really have that time anymore. Well, then I'll just make sure I've got the second game installed and ready to go. So let's make that our goal. 5 more streams. And we'll try to top 4 to 5 hours a stream. And we'll see if we can beat this in 5 more. That'll be our goal. Or at least get as close as we can to the ending in the next 5 hours. 5 streams. I think that'll be a fun little challenge. Okay, guys. What's the problem with Cold Steel? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That happened when I was watching Topher play La Cremosa of Dana, Wise 8. That was a similar problem he had. There was like 2 different times it seemed like it was good. No, there was one time it seemed like it was going to be the ending, and then there was like another hour left. Plus a final boss fight. It was very Dragon Quest Echoes of Elysium. It's kind of frustrating, but the ending was amazing. The ending of La Cremosa, for those of you who don't know, I got the perfect ending because I got my affinity up with everybody to 200. Okay, 30 hour. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming out. I hope you had a good night. I'll catch you all next stream. I might or might not be live tomorrow night. I don't know. If I am, it'll probably be Final Fantasy or Xenoblade, so we can finish those. But we'll see. All right, guys. Thank you for coming out. Cheers, and have a great night.